Hello guys, and welcome to myfinancesteacher.org. Looking at US dollar, we see these cycles, again, intermediate cycles lasting for about half a year. For example, here between early 2019 and in the end of June, that previous intermediate cycle finished. In the ongoing one, we, I think, are in the second short-term daily cycle. Generally, these daily cycles, short-term cycles, last for about a couple of weeks, although sometimes they can be quite short in the US dollar. The current daily cycle started somewhere at the beginning of August, that's 9th of August over here on this week. And for that reason, I expect this daily cycle to probably finish sometime in early October. That would give us a couple of months for this daily cycle. So zooming in a little bit on the US dollar, I see this triangle. We might have already seen the end of this daily cycle here in the middle of September. That's on the 13th of September. And we might see the US dollar start the advancing phase of the next short-term daily cycle over the next couple of weeks. But I would say there is slightly more chance, maybe 60% chance, that we still are going to see US dollar come closer to the lower range of the Bollinger Bands and probably temporarily break below this blue line of the 50-day moving average, because over the last 10 days we see the US dollar just testing this 50-day moving average a couple of times already. That happened here on the 11th of September, happened again here on the 13th, and here on Friday. The wick of this candle came relatively close to that 50-day moving average. So I don't see the US dollar pulling away from 50-day moving average, which tells me that we might break on the lower side from this triangle and maybe see a recognizable daily cycle low on the US dollar before dollar starts rising into the next short-term daily cycle. So that translates to short-term strength in the gold and other precious metals market, as I've mentioned in some of my videos. But on the medium term, as dollar enters into the advancing phase of the next daily cycle, as I mentioned, I do expect weaker precious metals because I think they are already in the declining phase of an intermediate cycle. Now looking at the chart of gold, as I mentioned in my previous videos, I think we have started an intermediate cycle decline. So over the next several weeks, I'm not really excited into going into a long positions on precious metals. However, within this intermediate cycle decline, of course, we are going to see some bumps up. Once this second daily cycle in precious metals finishes, and we probably have seen the end of that second daily cycle on the 18th of September, we're going to see in a short-term advancing phase in the third daily cycle before it rolls over and gives us a lower low and finally the end of the current ongoing intermediate cycle. That end of the current ongoing intermediate cycle, I think, is going to be a really nice buying opportunity in precious metals. And given the normal duration of usually a couple of months for these daily cycles in gold, if we have seen the low on the 18th of September, then it's likely that this end of the intermediate cycle, as well as the end of the daily cycle, is probably going to happen somewhere in the end of October, beginning of November, or sometime in mid of November. In the meantime, we see two nice green candles on gold. A few days ago, I did enter some GDXJ positions. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to hold on to those because of high volatility. I dropped that position with like a tiny, negligible profits of like around 0.5% or something like that. And although we see nice two green candles over here, I'm afraid to go long at the moment because I think this bounce is not going to be long-lived, and I think this bounce is not going to give us a higher high on gold. It's possible, of course, that we're going to see a higher high, but I don't think it's very likely. I'm more interested in trying to catch the intermediate cycle low rather than the daily cycle low, which probably took place already on the 18th of September. So I guess over the next couple of days, my strategy would be to try to stay patient on precious metals and try to avoid the FOMO. I will probably see some of these green candles taking place over the next several days, and I'll maybe try to sit on my hands so that I don't enter a long trade just at the top of this daily cycle. So that's what I expect on gold over the next several weeks. It's really enticing to try to catch this gain. However, on the other hand, I'm afraid to buy too late into this advance. As I said, it's probably going to be short-lived. So I'm hesitant. Let me know what you guys think. Should one enter here or be patient and hold a larger cash position? Before you write that comment, remember to hit that like button and good luck in your trades.